What's up? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Gary Hober here again with my buddy Adam Rice and Storm Miller, coming in hot on a Friday morning. What's up, Adam?
It's Flex Friday.
Oh, we're not going to do that. Maybe Storm, maybe you could help us out. Oh, it looks better than you, Adam. Adam, what day are we on of hard 75 hard, number 5? All right. I talked to a candidate yesterday who completed it. He was on day 74, so he completes it today. He said he started with 15 other guys, and 3 of them made it.
I hope I'm there.
Well, we'll keep you accountable. We'll keep you accountable, bud. Theme for today's show, pre-sales. So we have a really, really strong pre-sales program. We're going to get into some of the details of it today. But before we do that, Adam, maybe you'd like to start by telling us how and why pre-sales are so important to getting started in the fitness industry.
Yeah, for sure. So long story short, I think we could spend about 2 hours on this, but at the end of the day, in this model, the opportunity to pre-sell memberships at a discounted rate and open the doors into profitability is one of the only models that I know. And being it's a being membership model, right, type of business, not just ISI. But so we understand that, and it's critical. Like, we brought on experts around this to ensure that our team and our franchisees have all of the resources to launch successfully and to put a major emphasis on pre-sales. Because at the end of the day, here's the thing: is sure, opening into profitability is amazing, right? That's number one. Number two, though, is we look at the long-term sustainable growth. And if you open a facility with 50 or 100 members, and you have not even close to the momentum where you have, if you open a facility with 200, 250 members, people are talking, there's energy, your sessions are full. And that is really the determining factor in how you go from opening to 6 months and gain another 100 members and start to exponentially grow your profitability. So it's one of the things that we place the absolute most emphasis on throughout training and throughout discovery day and talking with candidates. It's a straight sprint to opening, and really you're setting yourself up for 5 and 10 year long-term success when you do that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really like about what you've done with your brand is you've broken your training into 3 different sections. So I've seen a lot of franchises in my day, and what they'll do is as soon as you sign a franchise agreement, they'll get you right into their corporate headquarters. They'll put you through a 5 to 7 day, or even worse, a 3 to 5 week training program. And at the end of it, they'll send you out in site selection, and that's the end of it. What you do is really thoughtful, really smart. You break it into 3 sections. First one being 25 plus hours of virtual training. Then you invite the franchisee at that point back to Charlotte to spend 3 days with you, with the team, with Amanda Goolsby, who's a person we're going to talk about a little bit more today. And then the third part of it is you go on site and you actually help them set everything up so that they're ready for launch. But that training, that secondary training in Charlotte is a key focus, because that's where you spend all that time working on it. Then you launch into the 10 to 14 weeks of pre-sales prior to your grand opening. Some of the technical details about those pre-sales, Adam, like the discounts, right? Can you talk a little bit about that and how we attract and some of the things that we're doing inside the 4 walls or outside the 4 walls to make sure that we're supporting members through that initial purchase?
Yeah, so not only are they going to get, they go through, like I said, number one is site secure, then they go through virtual training and they get their 25 hours of that. But what that is it's only focused on pre-sales. Like you said, we don't want you focusing on operations. Like, your 10 to 14 weeks of pre-sales is the only time in the life cycle of your business that you're going to be able to solely focus on sales. Once you open, you're servicing members, you're doing all those things. So your sole focus is on, and you're open, like we drive the mentality that you're open for business the second you launch pre-sales. And so you're fully staffed to launch those pre-sales. But the way that we are helping franchisees make sure it's successful is not only do they go through virtual training on pre-sales, they're doing pre-sales budgeting. They're starting to look at their 3-mile radius. What are B2B partnerships that they can get? They've got biweekly accountability calls with Amanda. Amanda flies in from the West Coast as in person at HQ training. And so all of these different things that we're doing and constantly on the phone. And then obviously we're driving leads to them, right? So within our organization, we use our marketing fund to actually do the digital marketing for our franchisees. So they're paying Instagram and Facebook and all that, the ad spend, but they're not having to go outsource an agency. We do all of that in-house for our franchisees and get everything set up from the automation to the email drip campaigns and all of that. So.
Right. So I think it's important to note that you obviously just said this is like the one time, those 10 to 14 weeks prior to opening, where you get to focus just on pre-sales.
Right.
And we have a strategic partnership with a company called Buildum, right? So you got that Rep'em hat on right now. And I think, again, a completely genius move on your part is to create this relationship with this company. Storm, I'm going to ask you real quick. You want to give a 30-second plug on what Buildum does? And before I ask you to do that, keep in mind, if you're a franchisee and you're in partnership with both ISI and Buildum, you have the opportunity to just focus on those sales because you have somebody else watching your back. So Storm, you want to give us that quick little understanding?
Yeah, absolutely. So Buildum is basically the construction management arm of the Rep'em group. And it's a group that is solely focused on helping franchisees not just find their location, but actually complete a build out and a fit out of a specific unit, right? So once somebody signs a franchise agreement, basically you would engage Buildum, and Buildum will work with a national broker to help you find a couple of different locations that might make sense for you to open your ISI. They'll help you narrow those choices down. They will go out and work with you to hire a general contractor, and then they will manage the entire construction process from start to finish. They basically are taking that aspect of opening the business off of the plate of the franchisees, and that allows franchisees to solely focus their time and energy on pre-sales. But not only will Buildum work with you throughout the entire construction process, they're going to help you identify any issues that you may encounter with the space before you actually start on that construction. So they're going to walk you through a red flag checklist and things like that. But even after you get your doors open, they're going to work with the landlords to go get your TI money back. And TI is tenant improvement dollars. They're going to work with you through the entire opening process, all the way to the point where they're getting money back from the landlord for you on your behalf. And anybody who's ever had to do that knows that is a difficult thing to get any tenants or tenant landlords to release any money back to you. It's not an easy process. So they kind of take all that onto their plate and allow the franchisees solely to focus on pre-sales.
Thank you. Yeah, and likewise, in my experience, I guess over 10 years on the franchisor and the franchisee side, it's probably been about 40 build-outs I've been a part of. Yeah. And in retrospect, having some sort of guidance like they offer would be something that would have been very good to have in the past. Just even from the LOI and lease negotiation oversight and helping with that, super critical. Let's turn back to pre-sales real quick. Adam, I believe that we have a location in pre-sales right now. Is there any way that we can take a look at what their trackers look like, some of the tools that we're using to collectively measure how they're doing in their first few days of sales?
Yeah, I could pull that up. I also just have see if I can pull up their, hold on real quick. If you guys want to, so if you're following this, and you want to follow one of our locations, so Dilworth, North Carolina, they just launched pre-sales, and they are at, I think, 20 in their first week.
Incredible.
So you can follow them at ISI_Dilworth and follow the process. But this is just a few pictures of their first day of pre-sales. And this is Layla, Layla is actually a head performance coach at Orange Theory. She became a member of ISI, fell in love with it, and is now, going out on her own and going to get after her dream. So we've got that piece, and then we've got the piece where we are tracking this on a day-to-day basis. And so she obviously started at the end of August. So if we come down here and we see, the first few days. So it's again, it's all data that we're tracking on a day-to-day basis, that we're understanding, where you're at today, and you'll see these daily targets right here. So it's like, hey, we need to have 10 appointments booked per day. We need to have at least 8 scheduled appointments. We need to have 6 of those show up. And our target every day is to close 4 new members throughout PreSales.
And Adam, I will say, and this is kind of tying in some of what we discussed on yesterday's call, you were showing the focus on KPIs, but you can really see that you guys are focused on inputs, right? And if you focus your time and attention on the inputs, the output's going to be there. And that's what we used to call a sustained success model, right? Anybody can have success if they do things right once or twice, right? You can get an output once or twice if you're doing some things, correctly on a random basis. But if you are consistently focusing on the inputs and you need to hit this metric this many times, the output's going to be there. And that's what I love about how you guys have broken down the numbers. You know exactly where your franchisees need to be in order to hit these output numbers.
Yeah. Were you guys able to see everything I just showed?
Yeah, we were able to see for the most part. I think if we break it down, again, tying into what we talked about on the analytics yesterday, which is you start with the top end of your sale funnel and work your way down. We saw that on the top left as to what the new member goal looked like per day. I think what maybe we breezed over just a little bit was over on the right, which is, to your point, she signed up 19, pretty close to 20 members in 6 days of pre-sales. So, we just are just rocketing right out of the cannon right there. That's in 6 days, and we're talking we got something like 70 to 100 days left to sell pre-sold memberships. Yeah. So pretty exciting. All right, we're coming up on time real quick. So 2 more things we need to do before we get out of here. We're going to kick it over to Storm for the weekend forecast in Philadelphia. But before we do that, we have this amazing woman, Amanda Goolsby, that we work with. She works with us, a couple other companies, but she has an exclusive relationship with us. And we are going to show you a video of her right after we're done with Storm Miller.
So first things first, before I get into the forecast, I wanted to let you know that we've made some adjustments here to our little board. Okay. Megan decided that the W that I was using in place of my M yesterday wasn't cutting it. So we went and found an M last night, and we haven't decided whether or not we want to use a dollar sign there for an S. So we've got both of them right there. But I want to let you know we're working to improve every single day. Okay. So wanted to let you know that's what we got going on over here in the background in case you guys couldn't see it. As for the weather in Philadelphia today, it's going to be another hot one. We've got a high of 87, but with, again, the humidity, it's going to push the real feel up to 97 degrees today. So pretty warm one here in Philadelphia. They are calling for thunderstorms tonight, which is going to push this warm front and all the humidity out. So looking into the weekend, we've got highs of 80 on Saturday, and the high on Sunday is only 78 degrees. So fall weather is here in the Northeast, and it's looking like it's here to stay. Looking forward into a 15-day forecast. The highs are mostly in the 80s. For those of you who are lawn enthusiasts, great time to do some overseeding. So get out there, drop some seed, especially if you're in the Northeast, because temperatures in the 80s with sun, perfect time for that stuff to grow.
Well, how accurate is a 15-day forecast?
I mean, as long as I'm not seeing temperatures that are 90 plus, for 10 straight days, I'm a happy man.
Yesterday, you told me that the weather was going to be 98 degrees, and all I could think about was Nick Lachey.
Those are my old days, looking like Nick Lachey.
I'm cutting you guys off. We're going to Amanda later.
See you guys.
Hey guys, I'm Amanda and I'm the Director of Pre-Sales at ISI Elite Training. A little bit about my background. I have supported the launch of and growth of one of the biggest brands in fitness history, Orange Theory Fitness. Between 2012 and 2017, I helped about 50 units get open, operating, and profitable within the Orange Theory Fitness brand. And through that time, what I learned is that if we get a solid pre-sales process in place for you as a franchisee, not only will you have the foundation of members throughout the pre-sale process to open and be profitable by the end of your first month, you'll have the benefit of momentum at your back by having 250 founding members, which is our objective throughout the pre-sales process. You're gonna have a profitable business. You're gonna have a team that already knows how to execute on the sales process because they've been working on it throughout the course of pre-sales. And you have the momentum of 250 people in your community excited to go out and share about their experience with your brand. So look forward to meeting you along this process and understand pre-sales is your path to profitability.